guys good? Ready to roll? Thanks for being here on a holiday. In our schedule, and this week was a little unusual with the Thursday game. So we practiced, had to give them Friday off because we had to, either Friday or Saturday in our routine that you have to have an off day. We gave them Friday off so we could practice a little harder on Saturday. And then even though today's a holiday, we thought going back-to-back practices. So today's an academic recovery day. Our guys are around kind of eating and doing a little study hall stuff, so it's an off day. So appreciate you coming on a holiday because moving forward, this is a non-practice day for us. We won't practice on Sunday evenings. Next week would be different, playing a Saturday game. That Sunday practice is tapered just because of coming off the game. Last night it was 3 days post-game, so it was a different work day. Going back to Indiana State, again, looking at it, again, I thought we played very, very hard, which was really one of our main objectives going in, or goals. Thought our effort, playing reasonably physical, can always get better, but we didn't want to question that, and I didn't question that at all in all phases and by a lot of guys. I thought our effort was pretty solid and something we want to build on. That comes from the way we practice. It comes from, I think, several years of building on that and continuing to get stronger, and not just in the weight room, but stronger in effort and practice habits and competition. And that's a nice positive we have right now as we're trying to build and keep moving these guys forward this year and years to come. Concern areas, we had 3 turnovers in the game. 2 gave them 14 points, immediate 14 points without our defense being on the field. Plus we had the ball on the ground a couple times. Center quarterback exchange. One time Tevin just got it loose but got it back. D'Angelo had it out one time on the sideline where it got knocked out. You might not even seen it, but got knocked out. So that's got to improve. Last year it was game 10 before we lost a fumble. And we lose one in the first game, and it's unacceptable and not what we stand by, and it's not talk. So we got to work on that. We had 17 missed tackles, and you're always going to miss maybe a few, but that's a little bit more than we want, and it's probably less than it's been, but it's more than we want. And we did have some miscommunication with our defense, just getting calls and getting our guys lined up. If we can continue to communicate better and get our alignments better and tackle better, the defense will continue to improve, and it's got a chance to be better. But we got to clean those areas up. We had some kicking errors. We had that turnover before the half, which was huge. We had miscommunication one time on a short punt where we almost had another turnover where our returner didn't do a good job getting people out of the way. Had 2 penalties on the kickoff team that let them start on the 40, where we kicked it out of bounds, and a 15-yard penalty. And can't play with short fields, especially this week, but in all weeks. Positives, we had 78 guys playing the game by our account. A lot of young guys, a lot of guys, walk-on dudes that don't get a lot of chances, and it's great for those guys because our walk-on program is better. The guys you don't see, our scout teams are awesome. So to get those guys on the field was awesome. We did create 2 turnovers. We'd like to find a few more if we can. I think we had 10 plus 3 and outs, not counting the turnovers. And, we go 3 and out. They have a long drive, and I think we go 3 and out, 1 play turnover, 3 and out, 4 play turnover, 3 and out. We got on a good run until that blotch before the half, and it was really pretty good until they worked us in the fourth quarter. So other than their second drive and then the scramble, blotched fourth quarter drive, our defense was pretty solid. I thought our third down defense was really good. They only converted 19% on third down, which was good. And that was because our first down and second down was good. It wasn't a lot of 3rd and 1s. When you play Navy, you're going to get a bunch of 3rd and 1s and 2s because they just run their option and play action game, get short down and distance deals, which work in your favor. Players of the game, we had Sudfeld and Coleman. On offense, both played well. Not surprised. Good players. I think, Nate right now has got the highest passer rating in the country, and Trey's is higher than his. He didn't have enough passes to be rated. So those guys both played very, very well. We gave it to Nate with the 4, but Trey had 3 touchdowns. Wasn't a bad deal. Defensively, Mangieri, who's had an awesome camp, very active, going to have a good year for us. Need him to keep coming on. He's a good young player. TJ Simmons, first start, leading tackler, really played well. Looks like a vet. Good future for him. Greg Heben was rock solid on the back end. Special teams, we were awarded 4 guys. Ewald, except for the 1 kickoff. I didn't like that, but 10 extra points, 10 for 10, 1 for 1 on the field goal, 6 touchbacks. I think he's one of the better kickers in this league. Like I say, we keep it up. He'll break the point record here for kickers and all that do, I think, or be close to it. He should have it, I think. Shane Wynn, with the big return. I think Shane's one of the few players in the country now to score in more than 2 ways. He's got a kick return, punt return. I think I think first one since George Telefiero, I think, had an interception, all that. So of all the great players here. He's a dynamic player. He had 3 touchdowns. Teddy Bolzer and Cody Latimer were awesome on special team coverage. Just those guys are tremendous players, and they score a touchdown. Then you watch Bolzer. He's the first guy down covering a kick after you score a touchdown. And that's what you want. And that's great to see. Scout Team Players of the Week, Andrew Wilson. You saw him come out and play well. He's a young, solid player for us. Billy Ivan, who's an old vet, doesn't play much. He's giving you a great look on the scout team. That's what winning teams do. Here's a 4th-year guy that wants to be starting, and that's a quality job for you. Jordan Wallace, same deal. Here's a guy, into year 2 and didn't play as much as he wants, but he's your Scout Team Player of the Week because he's giving you a great go, and Garrett Liebertowski. So those guys did an awesome job. Like Sarah, scout looks are awesome. Health issues, I think we came out of the game pretty good. We'll have Wynn, I think, going full go Tuesday. He was a little limited last night. Getting close to getting Ecker back. Ryan Thompson practiced. We'll see where we are. We're close with Alex Todd, getting him in the mix, and I think we're close with Cormier. So I think we're more healthy than we were a week ago, and which is a good deal moving forward into Navy. Anticipate having a lot of guys going as we go through this week. Now, if their reps get limited and they don't practice a lot on Tuesday, Wednesday, you probably won't see them. But I anticipate the way they looked and the way they're coming along, unless there's a hiccup along the way, it will be good. Going into Navy, we're their opener. It's a team, of course, we know we played them last year. We've got a decent feel for them. I'm sure they've got a good feel for us, and probably a better feel than we do because they've seen us play. As usual, when you start with someone's opener, is there any new wrinkles? I know that we're a game they've been looking for. They want to get off to a good start. And you look at their schedule, I know they put a lot of emphasis in coming out and playing well. A lot of guys back on their team, a lot of starters from a bowl team. I think they've been to bowls 9 of the last 10 years. They've won that Commander-in-Chief trophy 8 of the last 10. So it's a quality team, winning team. Again, they're very, very well coached. Coach Ken, he's been there for, 16 years, and I think he'll say this is maybe their most talented team with all the guys coming back and their success the way they've recruited. So it's going to be a big challenge for us there. We talk a lot about the option. You guys know that's but the real deal about the option is it's just a different style of game. Last week we had 18 possessions, counting Shane's kickoff return. We had 18 possessions going into the 4th quarter. Last year against Navy, we had 10 for the game. You'll get 8, 9, 10, 11. If you get more than 12, either they're scoring fast or you're playing good D and they've turned it over. It's a short game. And what that does, that minimizes your opportunities, so your errors are more exposed and more critical because it's like at bats. You're not going to get as many swings. So you got to be pretty productive in what you're doing. They're led by the quarterback, Keenan Reynolds, who's awesome. You look at last year, he comes in. I know before we played him, he's the quarterback. Their starter gets injured, and he wins the Air Force game on the road. The way he battled for him at Army and brings them from behind. Those are the games of the year for those two teams that are games of life for those men over there. And for a freshman, he's very calm. I think he throws the ball better than most option guys. Very smart, Craig, coach's kid, quality player. There are fullbacks returning, almost a 1,000-yard rusher, and I think they might have someone better than him, if you can believe their write-ups. And, of course, they lost a couple good slot players, but they're going to get the ball on the perimeter, cut you down with their speed sweeps, lull you to sleep, shots over the top. Tremendous offense led by a great quarterback. Defensively, very sound, a 3-man front. Excuse me. A lot of bend but not break style. 4 across and 2 deep structures, not blitzing a lot, playing guys on the edges, making it hard to get around them, trying to outnumber you, but at the same time not giving up big plays over the top. They're very, very strong. If you look at their numbers, you might not think they're impressive till you look at their 3rd down defense and you look at their red zone defense. And because they will get you on schedule and get you stopped, and you might move the ball on them, but they don't yield a lot of points, and then you don't get a lot of drive opportunities. So that's why you put that together with their punter, who's an awesome punter, and the way they play the offense, and that's why they've been in bowl games 9 of the last 10 years. They're a tremendous program. For us, overall thoughts, again, it's a big week. We talk about getting better. It's a good start. I thought we played hard. I want to build on that because I think you gain physicalness and effort and momentum as you go through the year. Thought last night we had a really good go. It was crisp. It was sharp. We did some good on good for some speed and to get some hitting and some thumping. It wasn't a scrimmage, but it looked and sounded and felt like a good team the way you want to work it. But it's a big week for us. We need to step up, and we need it around here. We need everything around here to step up. Whether it be in our building as coaches, we had 2 number 40s on the field first time we kick off. That's an error on me and our staff. We got to look at where we're putting players. Or we got a guy doing a job? Is that a job he can do and keep putting our kids in good positions and coaching better? And what we're doing in our nutrition rehab, what we're doing in managing the game and getting the crowd more excited, what we're doing as fans. This is a big week. We got 4 non-conference in a row at home. We got 8 at home. We need to be better across the board as a team. We need everyone associated with the game to be better. And love this week now to have. I thought our student body last week was awesome. That game started. They filled it up to the top as far as I've seen. No, it was a school night, but this week with a 6 o'clock game, we ought to get a great deal more tailgate atmosphere pregame when we do the walk and get some energy and get the band and the cheerleaders cranking. And we need to play well, but we need an exciting deal. This is a no-huddle team. They're a no-huddle team we're playing. And the louder our crowd can be and the more energy we can create to make that a challenge, it'll be very, very positive for us. So it's a big week, and I want to see us get better in all phases. So with that, we'll go questions.
I know that you have to be disciplined against an option offense, but how do you get guys to continue to play physical and defend that without getting bogged down thinking too much?
Well, that's the essence. The more you coach and the more adjustments you make, the more you think. Great line I said, I think a year ago, but I think it was Marshall Falk at the combine when somebody ran a 4.23. They said, well, that's great, but the best way to slow a fast man down is make him think. So, and that's a part of their offense. They make you play assignment football. They make you think. And then I'm sure they're going to come out in some pistol set because it's pistol option. And there's every concept that they can do from the bone that you can do in pistol. We're a one-back team, but basically every play we do is a 2-back play. We run power. We run down and around. We run zone plays. Instead of having a lead blocker, we put them out. They cover the guys. So it's, the protections are the same. The runs are the same. So for us, it's not different. That's why we can go 1-back to 2-back, and we don't think it's hard. But defensively, the more you think, the harder it is. That's why, again, when I got here, my opinion, I think this is the most difficult team we play. And the reason being, everything we do this week defensively, you throw it away and don't do it again because you want to keep building. And this game might hurt you 3 and 4 and 5 games down the road because instead of building and going from your week 1 mistakes and improving, okay, you did this week 1, but now let's totally put that on the shelf because here's an option team. But it is an option team that's going to have some movement and some gun passes. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge. And I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be a game where we're going to have to do some adjusting and see if we're smart enough to, as coaches and players, to understand what happened and get lined up because we might get caught once or twice where you don't want to be. And that's an advantage that those guys have. We have the advantage of playing a game. We also have the advantage of playing the game, not showing everything we want to do, which is was by design, as was last year. We held some things back last year, got in a close game. This year, there's some things we're going to, we didn't get to. So we'll have, everybody always has a couple cards up their sleeve. And this week, it'll be a challenge to see defensively what we can do. This is a heck of a challenge for us.
You talked about your scout team a little bit. Do you have someone that can simulate their option in the scout with your scout team? Effectively. And the other thing is when you don't have tape on somebody and you're expecting them to do something maybe a little different than they did last year, how hard is that to prepare for?
It's hard. It was a big challenge last week because you weren't sure what you were getting. New coordinators, new coaches, really, what's their personnel. Typically, though, even though it's new looks, most teams conceptually don't get far off of their concepts. So it might be pistol midline instead of under center, or pistol dive option instead of under center, or an offset gun back running a zone read play where you're counting for who's got the veer, who's got the quarterback, who's got the pitch. So and that's where I do think defensively in this day and age I've for years listened to defenses, coaches, and meetings, and it seems like they're making more checks and more adjustments than the offense does. And because they're trying to stop every play. And I think some teams that are really getting pretty good on defense are really keeping it very, very simple and being gap sound, where your eyes go. That's something we've worked very hard on to try to be better, is what's the integrity of our defense, what's the structure, and where do your eyes go? And that's what this option deal. Who's got who? Are you gap sound? And do you not get lulled to sleep and get your eyes, because as soon as you get lulled to sleep and your eyes aren't where you're supposed to, there goes a go ball in the post over top for a big one. And so it's a challenge there. As far as running it, we do run it during the year, and we have Kofi and Trey do it. We won't do that this week because we need to prepare for us. So typically, we always take, some type of runner to do it, and then the difficult deal is reacting to play action pass, because if you have the runner throw, he can't throw, so then you put the other quarterback in there, and the defense knows, well, this must be a pass, because now it's a real quarterback. So that's the deal. But we'll see how it goes. We got a very good look last year, and we actually didn't play horrible by the way we played defense. We actually played fair defensively against them last year, and I thought we had a pretty good look. So, but it'll be a challenge. And the other challenge is we don't want to go full whacking them like they do all the time in fall, which is legal blocks, but the way they go in legs. So that'll be a challenge too.
Your defensive tackles last year were veteran guys. You've got 2 young guys in there this year. Does that cause you some issues in that sense, that these guys haven't played against this kind of offense?
Yeah, and it's a good question, Don. I mean, I guess if they're running their midline to the 3 where he's got to close, which they know, but most of their stuff goes, it's where the end's closing. Or you're playing switch games of ends and backers and safeties and who's got dive, pitch, and quarterback. And, of course, then you got to account for it out of if they're doing things in gun, whether it be offset back or pistol back and all that. So, but again, those guys up front will play hard. I do think we will have a little bit of a size advantage, and hopefully we can get our guys to play in a way that I don't know if what we're trying to do as far as exactly yet, because we're kind of starting the full go prep of whether it be, you're trying to anchor in your gaps or penetrate in your gaps. Typically their linemen have been a little bit smaller, and they're scrambling and cutting and whacking and all that. So be interesting to see with our size, how our size matches up, and is that an advantage or disadvantage?
How much farther along in your preparation are you for Navy? Because not only did you face them last year, but you started last spring, not this past spring before, prepping for them, so maybe the veterans have just a lot more experience than you certainly did last time you played.
Yeah, with so many guys back, but again, it's we don't go back a whole lot. We do. The nice thing to me, we did practice it once a week or twice a week, a few plays to keep it fresh in their minds. This year we do get it early. We can kind of flush it and get back to defensive development and offensive development. So at the same time, against a challenging offense, but again, there are teams, and they're making tweaks, because I think San Jose held them to 140 some yards, and I think they had 178 yards against Army with a 10-man front, if you read their articles and listen to that stuff. So, I mean, it's a run-oriented deal. Again, we had great opportunities in the game last year. We take the opening drive down, and we got the ball in the first drive on the 10-yard line. We have a miscommunication. Our back goes the wrong way. We get off schedule, kick a field goal. There's a 4-point swing there. We give a pick 6. There's 7 more points. There's an 11-point swing there. Let alone at the end of the game when we give up we can't execute a 4-minute drive properly. We give up a touchdown and then throw a pick. So there's a lot, again, those errors get, magnified in this game because there's not a lot of opportunities. So, but again, a lot of guys back. You try as hard as you can to get the speed you're talking about, and it's a difficult deal. But at the same time, I mean, everybody talks about, they're going to have a hard time figuring us out. The way we throw and run and catch and the speed we do it at. So it is what it is, and they got a heck of a team. I think we got a pretty good team too, and it ought to be a lot of fun. Ought to be a great day, and we need to have a great crowd and get this place rolling.
How are you going to handle the quarterbacks? Do you know for sure at this point who's definitely starting? And do you think seeing a couple different guys could be an option this week as it was against Navy?
Yeah, I think, again, Trey, started well, and after throwing, said, let's give Nate a shot. And then Trey said, hey, took a shot here. I don't even know which side. They checked out, thought it was a bruise, but then we scored fast, punt return, boom, it was 42. All of a sudden, so like, hey, do we need to go out and take another hit on him? So we'll see how they practice. Again, you sit there and look, they both played pretty well. And then by the time Cam got in, he had a drop. He had a competitive play that could have been caught. He should have been 4 of 7 or 5 of 7. Matter of fact, he actually had a touchdown opportunity when we kicked the field goal. We had a receiver run the wrong route, or we probably would have scored a touchdown. That's why one of his incompletes, like, hey, there it is, where are you at? And he got stuck waiting for a receiver a young guy that ran the wrong play. So his numbers don't look good, but he was probably, in our world, 4 of 7, 5 of 7 by where he put the ball. And so, we'll probably see them all. We'll see we'll just see how they practice. Thought they all looked sharp last night, and I don't think our kids really matter. I don't think it's a problem. Like I say, I think we've shown the quarterback's got a chance to play well, and he'll need to play well again this week for us to win. Whoever it is, whether it be one, all, multiple, whoever, whenever, they better play well for us.
What
about the Navy defense? Everybody, of course, talks about their offense. What kind of problems does that defense present?
Different than last week, but similar. It had some three-man front, but last week, those guys put 7 guys in the box, made it difficult to run, left you one-on-one all day. They're not going to leave you one-on-one. They're going to play a little bit more fringe guys where I'm halfway playing run, halfway rallying to pass, so getting hats on some of their edge players are difficult. That being said, it's more of an umbrella, soft deal. They make you snap it again, saying you'll get off schedule. So again, a procedure penalty gets you 1st and 15, behind chains hurts you. A drop pass that gets you 2nd and 10, gets you behind chains, hurts you. An MA, guy goes the wrong way. Penetration, 2nd and 12 hurts you because you're not going to get as many drives. They know what they're doing with Coach Green. Shoot, I'm at GA when he's at NC State with Coach Sheridan back in the day. Guys coached 30-some been a head coach. So tremendous defense, rock solid, play well, and their defense works with their offense and their kicking, and that's why they're in bowl games every year. It's not just the O, it's how they play as a team, and they're a tremendous, solid winning team. And they'll be, for us to win this game, we'll need to show that we're a complete good team. Because our defense is not going to shut them down, and our offense is not going to outscore them. This is a game where you win this game as a team, or you lose this game as a team. And last year as a team, we lost. Because we screwed up a couple opportunities, had a pick six, had a chance to get a couple stops. We didn't do it. So we'll see if we can win as a team this year, because they win as a team.
Coach, you're saying
Did you ever see Nate play, and what do you remember from his recruitment?
Nate, remember talking to him when I was seeing Alex Todd at a hotel near Streetsboro, Ohio on a Friday night, saying, hey, I got word you're, wanting to do this, and it was right this semester, and you want to be a mid-year, and I don't think we can get you in school right now. Are you interested? I think we'll throw the ball well. Coach Luttrell coming in is going to be similar to me. I think we're not throwing it like we need to. We'll be better. I think we got a good school. It's far away from home. Are you interested? Thought his tape looked pretty good. But again, he was kind of playing in a pass, and he's catch and throw it every play. Didn't know how good an athlete he is. He's a better athlete than I thought, and a great kid and very smart.
Coach, you said you can't necessarily shut down Navy and that you're going to win it as a team. With defending the option, is it more just trying to limit the explosive plays and make the proper reads? You don't want guys overplaying.
Well, they can, because they cut you now. They can have some big ones, but it's a slow def too, because they'll go 3-4, 3-4, 4th and 1, go for it. Third and 4, run it for 3, 4th and 1, go for it. I mean, they just nickel dime you. And then that being said, then there is the big play, so you can't let it over the top. So it's kind of, they're very consistent in what they do, very solid. It's kind of like, again, they can lull you to sleep. And then it's one of those games where when you got young players that we've had, you get a little antsy and think, well, I thought maybe I should, versus trust the defense, trust what you see, get in your gap, take your guy, put your eyes, you got to win as a team. You can't make a play to beat these guys, 11 guys do. Same deal offensively. There's not one guy going to make a bunch of guys to beat this team. You got to beat them with 11 guys, because they're going to make you snap it again, saying that 11 guys won't work together effectively. And if you're a good team on both sides, you play 11-man football. So when you're a young team, a guy starts thinking, well, I thought maybe they were going to do this instead of, nah, I got the dive, or I got the pitch, or I'm locked on the outside guy. And so it's that trust factor we talk about.
Are you sensing more trust between your players on defense than maybe in the past?
Well, I think we got a lot more. I think they believe in how hard we practice, and they believe in their talents. I think they're starting to trust themselves. And I think they're also starting to see, if you play together as a team and trust the scheme, that it does work. Quit worrying about, I got to help him. If we wanted you to help him, we'd have told you. Trust what we're telling you, do your job, and let's roll.
Is better defensive depth up front a factor in this game, trying to keep approaching that offense?
Yeah, but there'll be no huddle too, and they can make it hard to substitute, and they're going to run everything at their bench and make you run 40 yards to get out there, and all that. So, I mean, it's a short-sighted game a lot of times, So you guys in the press box, that's their bench. They'll be coming at you all day. You'll get a good view of them.
You said after that game you thought Shane would be all right after that big hit, except for the case.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I mean, he was doing all our running, and I think he's already been cleared by whatever that impact test deal, and I think he'll go tomorrow. And should be good. I mean, I've been told. Like I say, he didn't quote. He was out there every day. We were texting Thursday night. He said he's the toughest guy on the team. I said, my little kid says, quit faking it. You're good. Let's roll. So.
Everything else come out all right?
Yeah, I mean, we're like saying, if anything, we're better, because some of those guys that you didn't see or didn't see much, like with Trey's deal, he's good. He could have played that day. We just, why? When it was where it was. And, You know, I think, again, Peyton should be back practicing. We'll see. Ryan Thompson's back practicing. I think Todd's close, and Cormier's close. We'll see where those two guys are. And outside of that, it's just we're back to, Feeney and Hoops. Okay? Appreciate you being here, guys. It's a big one.